High School in Sparta, New Jersey for top of the fifth action between the Pope John Lions and the Don Bosco Prep Ironmen. Mike Formisano here calling today's game. Thank you so much for joining us for the regular season home finale here at Pope John High School for the baseball team. I wish I had better news on the score front. It is Don Bosco leading Pope John 8-1. But an inside the park home run by Jack Portman put the Pope John Lions on the board in the bottom of the fourth. So Daniel Gigante back out to work, top of the fifth. And the leadoff batter now, number 11, Dylan Espinal for Don Bosco. News out of Phillipsburg, New Jersey this afternoon for the 100 Warren Sussex softball final between the number 2 seed Pope John Lady Lions and the top seeded Hunterdon Central Red Devils. Here's a pitch. In there, called strike. The Pope John Lady Lions capture the 2025 Hunterdon Warren Sussex softball title, defeating Hunterdon Central 3-1. Congratulations to the Pope John Lady Lions. We look forward to seeing them on Saturday morning for their home finale, as well as their senior night against Immaculata. Here's the pitch. Grounder in the hole. Nice play by Masoni to knock the ball down, but he wasn't able to scoop it up. So it stays on the infield, but an infield single for Espinal. So with that championship for the softball team, and I don't remember if that's their first or if they've won it before. I knew that the lacrosse team had won their third Hunterdon Warren Sussex title since they started in that tournament. It used to just be the Hunterdon Warren. They added Sussex County a few years back. The boys lacrosse team won over Voorhees about 9 days ago. And that was the same day that the Lady Lions won their semifinal game against North Hunterdon, down to their last strike, and they survive and advance on a 2-run homer by Grace Verua. And Verua actually had an RBI hit today. So the freshman catcher coming through again for Pope John. Liv Chili pitched the game for them, pitched great. And they defeat Emily Van Cleef, the star pitcher for the softball team for Hunterdon Central. 3-1, Pope John wins. Congratulations. And time called right before Gigante pitched. So the pitch did come in, but time was granted. Your score here, top of the fifth inning, it's Don Bosco leading Pope John 8-1. Gigante looks in. Here's the pitch. Low and away, 3-1. Espinal on first. And the batter, number 20, Dennis Mulhern at the plate with a 3-1 count. Mike Rooney on deck. Here's the pitch by Gigante. Off the plate, ball 4. So runners on first and second now. And Rooney to the plate. So 2 spring titles in the Hunterdon Warren Sussex for Pope John teams. And the state tournaments starting up next week. So we will cover as many games as we can for you, depending on how far each team goes. There's only one stretch that I'm not going to be able to make. And I think that's just the one day, Friday, May 30th. I will not be able to make that day, which is possible second round for baseball. So my apologies. Gigante with the pitch. Off the plate. 2-0. But it should all start up next week. I think Tuesday, after Memorial Day. I think softball would play first round, but they may get a bye. Pitch back, and we'll readjust the camera there. I get to work my cat-like reflexes there to get out of the way of that foul ball. Feeling good. 2-1 now to Mike Rooney. First and second, no outs. Top of the fifth. Gigante looks the runner back. Fires. High. 3-1. On deck for Don Bosco, number 8, Chase Bagley. Gigante fires. Inside. Ball 4. And Gigante has walked the bases loaded. Bagley coming up to the plate. And now the coach Pope John out to the mound. Again, as we said, scheduled later this week. Tomorrow, Pope John at Roxbury. 4 p.m. start. Please join us on Pope John Lions TV on YouTube. Wednesday, boys lacrosse, home against Morris Knowles. Girls lacrosse Thursday, home against Immaculata. All of these are home finales for the regular season. And softball Saturday against Immaculata. State tournaments next week, and then once the state tournaments end, we will switch it back over to highlights from the season. And in the later part of the summer, July, August, we will start prepping for football and soccer for the 2025-26 seasons. Gigante with the pitch outside. 1-0 to Chase Bagley. On deck, number 13. That is Nicholas Gilpin. His pitch. Off the plate, 2-0. Gigante trying to find the strike zone again. Major jam here for Gigante in this top of the fifth. Here's the pitch. In there, called strike. 2-1. Time called by Bagley. Lions with 3 more road games this week. Roxbury tomorrow, at Del Barton on Thursday, and then Saturday at DePaul Catholic. Here's the pitch. High pop-up. Shallow right field. Portman racing in. Makes the catch. And because it was shallow, he's able to get the ball in quickly to Johnson. And that holds the runner at third. So no sacrifice fly for Don Bosco. And the score remains 8-1. So that's a big out for Gigante. Now the batter, pinch hitter, number 13, Nicholas Gilpin. On deck, number 22, Nick Becker. Here's the pitch. Off the plate, 1-0. So Gilpin's going to play left field next for Michael Hanna. Pitch is high, 2-0. Pitch. In there, called strike, 2-1. Bases full of Ironmen. Top of the fifth, 1 out. 2-1 count to Gilpin. Gigante looks in. Deals. Swing and a miss, strike 2. John looking to get out of this top of the fifth unscathed and then get to work with the bats the last 3 innings. Here's the pitch. Grounder to short. Ryan underneath his glove and into center field. 1 run scores. Here's the second run. And Don Bosco opens up a 10-1 lead. Oh, bad break for Will. It just went under his glove. You know, he was looking for the double play. And he had the possibility because he was right near the bag. So a double play would have gone ahead and got him out of the inning. Unfortunately, just went under the glove. Those things happen. And it's now 10-1 Don Bosco. First and third now. Gigante deals. High fly ball, right field. Portman racing back. It's over his head. It's a fair ball. 1 run scores, and he goes into the woods, so it's going to be a ground rule double. So they'll hold the runner at third. That is a double for Nick Becker. And that scores Don Bosco's 11th run. 11-1 Ironmen over the Pope John Lions. Well, the batter now, number 18, Junzen Sarza. Gigante deals. In there, call strike. 0-1. Now the pitch. High and away. 2-0. 1-1, sorry. Second and third, 1 out. Now the pitch. Off the plate. 3-1. First base is open. Batter on deck, number 3, That's Jaden Pena. Oh, thank you so much. Appreciate it. In there. 3-1 now. Gigante deals off the plate. Ball 4. Runners coming home. Throw by Pammy off of Gigante's glove. 1 run scores. And that makes it 12-1. So now, with an 11-run lead for Don Bosco, you start thinking about the mercy rule. And that is if Don Bosco is leading by 10 or more runs after 5 innings, the game is over. So, Gigante out, and a reliever coming into the game for Pope John. We'll take a break, be right back. Pope John Lions TV on YouTube right after this. Welcome back to Pope John High School for Pope John Lions Baseball. Mike Forpersano here, calling today's game. Thank you so much for joining us. New pitcher in the game for Pope John, number 17, Liam Brody. Brody comes in for Gigante, who is responsible for the 2 runners that are currently on base. Here's Brody's first pitch. Inside, 1-0. The batter is Jaden Pena. On deck, number 9 for Don Bosco, and it is a reserve I do not have a name for. My apologies. His pitch by Brody. High, 2-0. Brody looks in. Deals. In there. Called strike. 2-1. 1 out. Top of the 5th. Don Bosco leading 12-1. His pitch. Load away. 3-1. Now the pitch. Fouled off. Out of play. Full count to Pena. Here's the pitch by Brody. Grounder. Back to the middle. Ryan. Fields steps on second. On the first. Double play. Nice double play turned by Will Ryan. Fielded the ball. Stepped on second. Fires over to Evan Johnson. And the double play gets Pope John out of the inning, but not before. Don Bosco plates 4 runs. And at the end of 4.5, it's the Ironmen 12. The Pope John Lions 1. I didn't mind it. It was just, I hated camping. Oh, got it. Welcome back to Pope John High School in Sparta, New Jersey for Pope John Lions Baseball. Mike Formisano here calling today's game. Thank you so much for joining us for this regular season home finale for the Pope John Lions. First pitch in from number 4, load away, ball 1. The batter, number 21, Lucas Meseros. We're in the bottom of the 5th. It's Don Bosco leading 12-1. High pop-up by Meseros. It's on the infield. The shortstop underneath it makes the catch. 1 down. And now the batter, Miles Missoni. So the mercy rule is in effect here. Don Bosco leading by 11 runs. So if Pope John is trailing by 10 or more after 5, that is the game. So Pope John down to their final 2 outs. So real quick, while we have a moment, I'll give you one more update if you are just joining us and you're interested in what's going on for all of Pope John Athletics, as we are here at Pope John Lions TV on YouTube. The 101 Sussex softball final was played today in Phillipsburg, New Jersey. It's been rained out for the past few days, Wednesday and then Friday. The second seed, Pope John Lady Lions, took on the top seed, Hunterdon Central Red Devils. And Pope John pulled the upset over Hunterdon Central, a 3-1 final in favor of the Lady Lions. And so Liv Chile getting the victory for Pope John. Grace Verua with an RBI hit. And they defeat the Hunterdon Central specialist, Emily Van Cleef. So Pope John pulling the upset over the 18-1 Red Devils. And the Lady Lions are your 101 Sussex champions in softball for 2025. So congratulations to them, as well as the boys lacrosse team who won 9 days ago against Voorhees. So, on our channel coming up tomorrow, we will be with the boys baseball team at Roxbury. 4 p.m. start time, so please join us on Pope John Lions TV on YouTube. And then we will have 3 more home finales for you. We have this one today, and then 1 more baseball game for you. Boys lacrosse on Wednesday. The finale against Morris Knowles, 4:30 p.m. on the lacrosse field there at Pope John High School. Girls lacrosse against Immaculata on Thursday. That's their home finale. And then the softball team, the newly crowned HWS champions, they are against Immaculata on Saturday morning at the softball field for their home finale. Next week, state tournament action. We'll let you know more about that when we find out. New pitcher in the game for Don Bosco, number 18. And again, that's the pitcher I do not have on my roster, so my apologies. Batter for Pope John will be number 15, Miles Missoni. And on deck for the Lions will be number 31, Joseph Menko. Just waiting for the last warm-up pitches. So here we go. Bottom of the 5th, 1 out. 12-1 Don Bosco. The Lions need to plate 2 runs or more in order to advance to the 6th inning. Otherwise, the game will be a mercy roll. Sony at the plate. Here's the pitch. Inside, 1-0. Don Bosco scored 4 times in the first, 2 in the second, 2 in the 5th. No, I'm sorry, 2 in the 4th, 4 in the 5th. Low. No, in there, called strike. 1-1. Now the pitch. Low, ball 2. Here's the pitch to Missoni. Low, 3-1. Wind blowing in now from left field again. Lions lone run coming off an inside the park home run by Jack Portman. Here's the pitch. Liner to second, over the second baseman's glove and into right field for a base hit. Sony gets on first, and now the batter, Joseph Banco. Banco hit a big 2-run homer against Mount Olive on Saturday to put the Lions in a 3-2 lead from a 2-1 deficit. Pope John went on to win the game 4-2. Sony with a healthy lead off first. Here's the pitch. Off the plate, 1-0. On deck for Pope John, number 20, Will Ryan. Pitch looks in. Checks Masoni at first. Here it comes. In there, called strike. 1-1. Lions in there, pinstripe uniforms. White with blue pinstripes, blue socks, blue helmets to say PJ, and lines of blue across the chest. Don Bosco in maroon tops and white pants. Maroon hats. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. 1-2 to Banco. Sony with another big lead. Here's the pitch. Throw it back to the first baseman, and Sony just back in time. So the count's even on Banco. Here's the pitch. In there, called strike 3. Banco down looking. So 2 outs now. Batter, shortstop, Will Ryan. Ryan is Pope John's last hope. The Lions down by 11. If they do not plate 2 runs this inning, the mercy rule will kick into effect. In there, called strike. 0-1. Now the pitch. Low. Nice block by the catcher. 1-1 to Ryan. Sony with a healthy lead off first. Here's the pitch. Curveball in there. Strike 2. 1-2, 2 outs. Now the pitch. Low. Ball 2. Count's even on Ryan. Two and two. 2 outs. Pitcher looks in. Grounder down the first base line. Foul. Right off the edge of the Don Bosco dugout. Sony off first. Ryan waiting. Here's the pitch. Popped up behind home plate. Out of play into the woods. Right behind us. So count holds at 2 and 2. Now the pitch. Grounder to short. Should do it. Shortstop. Fields flips to second in time. And that is the ball game. The Don Bosco Prep Ironmen defeat the Pope John Lions. Final score 12-1. Yeah, Don Bosco going ahead and getting off the schneid early. 4 runs in the first inning, 2 in the second. They don't score anything in the third, but then plate 2 more in the fourth, 4 in the fifth. Meanwhile, the Pope John Lions get a run in the bottom of the fourth off an inside-the-park home run by Jack Portman. His second in 3 games, so congratulations, Jack, for that. With the win, Don Bosco moves to 20-2 on the season, and Pope John falls to 9-11. Tomorrow, an interdivision matchup at Roxbury High School. It's a makeup game at Roxbury. Pope John Lions head over there to take on the Gales. Pope John and Roxbury tomorrow afternoon, 4 p.m. Please join us on Pope John Lions TV on YouTube for that. Wednesday, we'll be here for the home finale for the boys lacrosse team as they will take on Morris Knowles, 4:30 at the lacrosse field here at Pope John High School. On Thursday, girls lacrosse. It is the home finale for them against Immaculata. And then on Saturday, the newly crowned 101 Sussex champions in softball, Pope John Lady Lions, hosting Immaculata in softball. And it's also senior night for them, which was supposed to be today against Lenape Valley. But that game was postponed because of the HWS final being moved back due to rain. But the Lady Lions won that over Hunterdon Central today, 3-1. So congratulations to them for that HWS championship. For everyone here, this is Mike Formersano saying thanks for joining us. Final score once again, the Don Bosco Prep Ironmen defeat the Pope John Lions 12-1. We'll see you tomorrow from Roxbury for more Pope John Lions baseball on Pope John Lions TV on YouTube. For everyone here, this is Mike Formersano saying have a good night, and we will see you tomorrow from Roxbury.
Yeah. I tried to do something.